Vietnam top leader meets EC president, Ukrainian president in New York.
Senior Hezbollah commander killed in Israeli strike.
Removing difficulties to develop craft village tourism.
Hello everyone, you are watching today's news on NTV channel. My name is Đăng. Let's get started. Party General Secretary and State President Tô Lâm met with European Commission President and Ukrainian President in New York on the afternoon of September 24, local time, during his working trip to the U.S.
Meeting the Ukrainian President, Party General Secretary and President Lam affirmed that Vietnam always values its traditional friendship and comprehensive partnership with Ukraine. Lam also expressed concern over the ongoing conflict, calling for an end to hostilities, the restoration of peace, and the protection of security and safety of civilians and essential infrastructure. The General Secretary and President stressed that Vietnam welcomes and supports international mediation efforts aimed at finding a lasting peaceful solution to the conflict, with the participation of all relevant parties, in accordance with international law and the United Nations Charter. At the meeting with the EC leader, the two sides expressed satisfaction with the positive developments in their comprehensive partnership and cooperation. The EC president affirmed that Vietnam is one of the EU's key partners in implementing its cooperation strategy, and proposed that the two sides soon upgrade their relations to lay a foundation for deeper, more substantial, and effective cooperation across all fields in the coming time.
The 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly began its first working day in New York, USA. Many world leaders focused their speeches on global conflicts, especially those in the Middle East.
Full-scale war is not in anyone's interest.
Speaking at the discussion session, U.S. President Joe Biden warned of the risk of all-out war in the Middle East and called on leaders to find a diplomatic solution to the current conflicts in the region. The U.S. leader said that Washington is coordinating with other mediating countries to move towards a ceasefire agreement in the Gaza Strip. Meanwhile, the Turkish president continued to criticize Israel's current military campaign in the Middle East, while also expressing solidarity with the Lebanese people in the Gaza Strip. Sharing the same view, the Brazilian president called for a de-escalation of tensions in the current conflicts in the world, especially in Ukraine and the Middle East.
In a statement, the Israel Defense Forces announced that an Israeli airstrike on Beirut's Dahiyeh suburb, a Hezbollah stronghold, eliminated the head of Hezbollah's rocket and missile division.
The IDF said Ibrahim Kabaisi was killed in the strike, along with at least two other senior commanders. Hours later, Hezbollah confirmed the death of Commander Kabaisi. Fierce cross-border fighting between Israel and Hezbollah continued on September 24, including an Israeli airstrike on the Lebanese capital, when Hezbollah fired some 300 rockets into northern Israel, setting off sirens in cities including Haifa, Saft, Nazareth and the Galilee.
Coming up next are some updated news.
According to estimated data, the GRDP growth rate in the first 9 months of 2024 in Nghệ An province is expected to reach about 7.5 to 8%. The third quarter alone is estimated to reach about 8.5%. The budget revenue in the area is estimated to be over 16,670 billion Vietnamese dongs, reaching 104.8% of the estimate. 58 new projects have been granted and 119 others have been adjusted with a total capital of over 35,540 billion Vietnamese dongs. By September 20th, the whole province had disbursed over 5,000 billion Vietnamese dongs, reaching over 54%, of which the concentrated public investment capital managed by the province has disbursed over 48%. A number of important projects have been basically completed and put into operation. Administrative reform has been implemented effectively. GRDP growth rate, budget revenue exceeded the estimate assigned by the Provincial People's Council, increasing by 45% over the same period. FDI attraction reached over $730 million United States dollars.
The tourism industry of Da Nang City has just welcomed the first regular flight of Malaysia Airlines connecting the capital Kuala Lumpur and Da Nang City. The new route, which operates with a frequency of 7 flights per week, will help raise the total number of flights between Vietnam's central city of Da Nang and Malaysia's capital of Kuala Lumpur to 28 per week. It is known that Malaysia is in the top 10 international markets to Da Nang City. The opening of a direct flight by this country's national airline to Da Nang is also expected to contribute to the growth of visitors from the Middle East, Europe, North America, Australia and other Southeast Asian countries to Da Nang.
The Department of Overseas Labor under the Ministry of Labor, Invalids and Social Affairs have warned about scams targeting people who want to work seasonally under E-8 visas in South Korea. The department affirms that sending workers to South Korea to work seasonally under E-8 visas is due to direct cooperation between provinces and cities of Vietnam and Korea. The list includes 17 cities and provinces. Bac Lu and Phu Yen. The Department of Overseas Labor Management recommends that people who want to work in South Korea under the E-8 visa seasonal labor program should only contact the Department of Labor, Invalids and Social Affairs or the Employment Service Center under this department at their place of residence.
Nghệ An currently has 182 craft villages recognized by the Provincial People's Committee, providing jobs for over 23,000 workers, while some of these villages produce products that meet standards like OCOP and VietGap. Only a small number of traditional craft villages have become popular tourist destinations. In fact, less than 5% of the craft villages are linked with the tourism development.
In 2017, Ban Sieng Brigade Craft Village, Kon Kung District was chosen as a destination in the Western Nghệ An tour. When building the tour, the local party committee and the Craft Village Management Board invested in infrastructure and encouraged people to develop the weaving profession. However, after a while, there were almost no tourists coming to the craft village, and the products consumed were also few.
The women here also want to make many handicraft products, but there are no customers. Many products are still unsold.
The clay pots with unique hand-squeezing techniques not only bring a prosperous life but also attract many tourists to True Sun Clay Pot Craft Village in Du Luong District. People here also realize the advantages of developing tourism in the craft village. However, many difficulties and obstacles prevent people from meeting the needs of tourists.
To have good clay pot products, we need clay, but the source of clay is scarce. Moreover, the production site is still narrow, so we want to have a larger campus so that tourist groups can experience it.
It can be seen that tours and tourist routes associated with craft villages in Nghệ An are still very limited. Some localities have advantages to develop tourism such as beach, resort tourism, ecotourism, community tourism, historical, spiritual tourism associated with visiting and experiencing craft villages that can attract tourists, but they have not yet developed commensurately. Many difficulties and obstacles make craft villages in Nghệ An face difficulties in developing tourism.
To develop tourism, all levels should pay much attention and support to solve difficulties for craft villages to complete infrastructure.
In the current trend, craft village tourism is considered a typical tourism product that opens up a new direction for localities with traditional craft villages in developing economy. Therefore, developing craft villages through tourism is one of the solutions to restore and preserve traditional crafts and craft villages, especially during the low tourist season of Nghệ An.
This is the end of the show today. Thank you for watching.